I'll, call you later.
Okay.
We're going fishing? We'll spend some real quality time together. I think I'm gonna be sick. It's wind fun!
Travel back to 1995, a time when hand-drawn animation carried a warmth that felt personal and timeless, and Disney released a film that quietly became one of its most heartfelt cult classics. A Goofy movie arrived not as a grand fairy tale or epic fantasy, but as something far more grounded and relatable, a story about a single father and his teenage son struggling to understand each other. Set within a bright, exaggerated cartoon world, the film used humor, music, and emotional honesty to explore family bonds, generational conflict, and the awkward, confusing space between childhood and adulthood. At the center of the story is Goofy, the lovable, clumsy, endlessly optimistic character audiences had known for decades. Here, he is no longer just comic relief. He is a dad trying desperately to do the right thing for his son, Max. Goofy's world is built on simple values, sincerity, and a belief that spending time together can fix almost anything. Max, on the other hand, represents a new generation. He is self-conscious, eager to fit in, and terrified of becoming like his father in the eyes of his peers. This contrast sets up the emotional engine of the film, turning what could have been a routine comedy into a surprisingly sincere family drama. Max's life at school is driven by his crush on Roxanne, a kind-hearted girl he admires from afar. In an attempt to impress her, Max spins a lie that quickly spirals out of control, forcing him to pretend he is cooler, more confident, and more independent than he actually feels. This desire to be seen and accepted mirrors a universal teenage experience, grounding the cartoon antics in real emotional stakes. Max's fear is not just embarrassment, but the possibility that his father's public awkwardness will permanently define him in the eyes of others. When Goofy misinterprets Max's behavior as a sign that his son is heading down the wrong path, he decides the solution is a father and son road trip. To Goofy, this journey is a loving gesture, a chance to reconnect through shared memories, fishing stories, and quality time. To Max, it feels like a nightmare, a forced retreat away from his social life, his plans, and the carefully constructed image he is trying to build. The road trip becomes the physical representation of their emotional distance, stretching across highways, motels, diners, and national parks. The journey itself is packed with misadventures that lean into classic slapstick humor while never losing sight of the emotional core. From disastrous roadside stops to chaotic encounters with other travelers, the film balances exaggerated comedy with moments of quiet reflection. Each obstacle on the road tests Goofy's patience and Max's resentment, gradually peeling back their defenses. Goofy's clumsiness, while often played for laughs, also symbolizes his vulnerability as a parent who knows he is imperfect, but loves his child unconditionally. Music plays a defining role in shaping the film's identity. The songs are energetic, expressive, and deeply tied to the characters' emotions. Pop-inspired performances capture Max's longing to belong and his desire to escape his father's shadow, while softer, more reflective moments underscore Goofy's hopes for connection. The soundtrack does more than entertain. It gives voice to feelings that the characters struggle to express openly, allowing the audience to connect with their internal conflicts. One of the film's most powerful strengths lies in its willingness to portray both father and son as flawed. Goofy is loving but overbearing, sometimes blind to the reality of Max's struggles. Max is intelligent and sensitive but selfish, often failing to appreciate his father's intentions. Rather than presenting one as right and the other as wrong, the story allows both perspectives to coexist. This balance gives the narrative emotional credibility, showing that conflict within families is rarely one-sided. As the road trip progresses, Max's lie to Roxanne grows heavier, creating an internal pressure that mirrors the external chaos of the journey. His fear of disappointing her collides with his guilt over deceiving his father. Meanwhile, Goofy begins to sense that his attempts to control the situation may be pushing Max further away. These parallel arcs gradually converge, setting the stage for moments of confrontation that are raw, honest, and surprisingly mature for an animated film. Visually, the film blends classic Disney animation with a bold, stylized approach that reflects the mid-1990s aesthetic. Characters move with exaggerated expressions. Environments are colorful and dynamic, and musical sequences burst with energy. This visual style reinforces the emotional tone, shifting seamlessly from comedic chaos to heartfelt stillness. The animation supports the storytelling without overpowering it, keeping the focus firmly on character relationships. The supporting characters, while often comedic, add texture to the journey. Friends, strangers, and brief encounters along the road reflect different attitudes toward family, freedom, and responsibility. These moments, though fleeting, help contextualize Max and Goofy's conflict within a broader world, reminding the audience that everyone is navigating their own version of growing up or growing older. As tensions rise, the story reaches moments where communication breaks down completely. Words fail, tempers flare, and the distance between father and son feels wider than ever. These scenes are handled with restraint, avoiding melodrama while still delivering emotional impact. The film trusts its audience to understand the pain beneath the humor, allowing silence and expression to speak as loudly as dialogue. What makes the resolution meaningful is not a sudden transformation, but a gradual understanding. The characters do not become perfect versions of themselves. Instead, they learn to listen, to acknowledge each other's fears, and to accept that love does not require sameness. Goofy realizes that letting Max grow up means accepting change, while Max recognizes that his father's awkwardness is inseparable from his sincerity and care. The emotional payoff resonates because it feels earned. The journey, both physical and emotional, has tested them, stripped away illusions, and forced honesty. When father and son finally meet each other on equal ground, the moment feels authentic and deeply human, despite the cartoon setting. This authenticity is what has allowed the film to endure beyond its original release. Upon its release in 1995, the film did not immediately receive the same level of recognition as some of Disney's more prominent titles. Over time, however, it found a dedicated audience that connected with its themes and characters. Viewers who watched it as children often rediscovered it as adults, finding new meaning in Goofy's struggles and a deeper appreciation for the parent-child dynamic at its core. The cast brought warmth and personality to their roles, grounding the animation in believable emotion. The performances balanced comedy and sincerity, ensuring that even the most exaggerated moments felt emotionally truthful. This commitment to character is a key reason why the film continues to resonate, as the voices never feel detached from the story they are telling. The film's lasting impact can be seen in how frequently it is revisited, quoted, and celebrated by fans. Its music remains memorable, its characters remain relatable, and its message remains relevant. In an era where animated films often aim for spectacle, this story stands out for its focus on everyday emotional truths. A Goofy movie succeeds because it understands that humor and heart are not opposites, but partners. It uses laughter to open the door to vulnerability, allowing audiences to lower their guard and engage with its themes. Beneath the jokes and musical numbers lies a sincere exploration of love, fear, and the challenge of letting go. At its core, the film is about the universal struggle to be understood by the people who matter most. It acknowledges that love alone does not solve conflict, but that empathy, patience, and communication can bridge even the widest gaps. This message, delivered through a simple road trip and a familiar Disney character, gives the story a quiet power that continues to resonate decades later. Looking back, the film stands as a reminder that some of the most meaningful stories are not about saving the world, but about saving relationships. By focusing on a father and son learning to accept each other, the film captures a truth that transcends age, culture, and time. That is why, years after its release, the journey of Goofy and Max still feels worth taking.